The Disney parks are always changing, and Disneyland Paris is no different. So what do you need in your Disney utility belt when visiting Disneyland Paris in 2024? You don't need to pack your whole bedroom and wardrobe to make sure that you have everything covered for a trip to Disneyland Paris. But there are some things you are going to want with you on your next trip. Plus, these things don't have to take up a huge amount of suitcase space, if any. I'm not going to go into a list of what clothes and toiletries you need to take. That is a whole other video. But I do have a video about all the essentials that you should take with you to Disneyland Paris, and I'll leave that video linked here. Something that you don't want to go to Disneyland Paris without are those advanced restaurant and dining reservations. For those staying on site, you get a whole 12 months out from your holiday to be able to make those reservations. And those extremely popular restaurants such as Downtown in the Art of Marvel Hotel, Bistro Chez Remy in the Walt Disney Studios Park, Captain Jack's in Adventureland in the main park, and Pim Kitchen in the Avengers Campus. These are just a few of the popular restaurants that get booked up super fast. And then there's the character dining that get booked up as soon as the reservations open, it seems like. And if left too late, these reservations are extremely hard to come by, unless you're able to snag a cancellation. Something that is worth noting, restaurant reservations are not just for dining options within the parks or Disney Village. You are also able to make reservations for the restaurants located within on-site hotels. Whether you happen to be staying there or not, these restaurants are just as good. There is, however, one restaurant with an exclusion for this within the Disneyland Paris hotel, but all of the other restaurants within the hotels are really great dining options. So start making a list of where you would like to dine. Or if you're watching this video and you're there next week, don't panic. Keep checking the app to see if any cancellations come up, or if any more availability is opened up within the restaurant that you want. You could also give Disneyland Paris a call to see if they're able to help with anything that may be available and may not be showing on the app. And don't forget, there are also restaurants that you don't need to make reservations for, and you can just turn up, such as the Rainforest Cafe and Annette's Diner, which are both located in Disney Village. So unfortunately, on my list for something that you are going to need for your next trip to Disneyland Paris in 2024 is a bigger budget. But you may have already guessed that for yourself. Disneyland Paris, like all the other Disney parks, are being hit with a big old wave of price increases. The price increases don't just affect the park tickets, but also restaurant prices and hotel prices. Across different social media platforms, this seems to be a huge topic of conversation. It may only be a small-ish increase, but when visiting a Disney park across multiple days, this small increase can start to add up. Now, I do have videos where I tell you how to save money where you can on your next trip, and a couple of those tips are booking your trip midweek and avoiding weekends if you're able to, booking outside of UK and European school holidays. Not always possible when you have children, but if you are restricted to school holidays, the last 2 weeks of the UK 6 weeks holidays do seem to have a slightly lower price. Take your own food from home. Disneyland Paris will allow you to take food into the parks. So if you have some space to spare in your case, or if you're driving there, you have no need to worry about those weight restrictions. Packing enough snacks for your trip alone will save you a small fortune. Just make sure that you follow French guidelines on what you're allowed to take into France. Just wanted to hop in. I hope you are finding this video useful. If you are, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. Now back to the tips. The next thing you might want to consider taking with you is a meal plan, or rather booking it and bolting it onto your trip. It's such a useful thing when budgeting for food on your trip, as your food will be pre-paid for and you won't have to worry about that whilst you're in the parks. You may just have to pay for additional snacks and drinks around the meal plan, or as I mentioned previously, take your own. It's worth doing your research on it to make sure that it will be beneficial to you, and I do have a video that goes into more detail about the meal plans, which I'll leave linked below. If used well, you will be able to get a lot out of it for your money. One of the great things that we like about the meal plan is that you are automatically booked in for breakfast at your on-site hotel. So at least that's one meal taken care of for you. And of course, it's a great way to start your day. And who doesn't love those Mickey waffles? Something that will probably be the most useful and most used thing on your trip is the official Disneyland Paris app. It will help in planning your next trip to Disneyland Paris. It's where you make your restaurant reservations, check on your countdown daily if you're anything like me, and it also contains the map that you will use whilst in the parks. Download it way before you go, or even way before you even book to go. Get used to it and its features, what you can do and what you can't do on there before you go, so that you know exactly what to do with the app when you get there and not waste time whilst you're there figuring out how to use it. Don't get me wrong, the app is not going to pack for you and then carry your cases, but it will carry all of your trip information. So that's your actual holiday and hotel details, restaurant reservations, if you have decided to pay and reserve seats for the incredible shows in advance, your online check-in function, which saves you loads of time once you arrive. Once there, it will hold your virtual queue time and information for the superhero meets in the Avengers campus and display all of those important queue times for rides and parades, and not forgetting you're able to place mobile orders for the quick service restaurants. Download it now, get used to it, and you'll be good to go. Now, as amazing as the app is, it is technology. And occasionally it can be temperamental. So if you have reservations for anything, just take some screenshots of them. So at least you have the information stored to your phone memory, just in case the app decides to rebel. Now actually, this could be probably the most important thing that you need to pack, and those are your patient pants. With the parks being increasingly busy and most days operating at capacity, patience at times will be needed, whether it's within your group or with other guests, or even for a ride that has just gone down after walking across the whole park to get to. Then there's the weather that at times will test you. Hunger, sore feet, meltdowns. Am I selling a Disney trip to you? I promise, a Disneyland Paris trip can be so much fun. But please don't go into your Disneyland Paris trip expecting it to be 110% magical, because you will be setting yourself up for disappointment. My tip here is to plan for the worst, but anticipate the best. It's really not worth stressing over something that could potentially go wrong. If rain is threatening to ruin your sunny day, see what indoor attractions are around, such as some of the fun indoor rides like Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on that smell. It's a small world. I'm really sorry, but this song is going to get stuck in your head. Buzz Lightyear Laser Blast, which is great for those who are competitive, just like my lot. Spider-Man Web Slingers, which is great if you're competitive and want an arm workout. Then there's those incredible shows that are not only inside so that you will stay nice and dry, but also a sit down and a chance to give your feet and legs a much needed rest. My top 2 favourite shows that I always have to see, even when it's glorious sunshine outside, are Mickey and the Magician, starring the main mouse himself, and Rhythm of the Pride Lands. So if you like Lion King, you will love this show. And not forgetting the all-new Together, a Pixar musical adventure, which looks absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to watch it. Or you could always do a little shopping. There's always an alternative solution that you can turn to when things don't always go the way that you planned. Because things are not always going to go the way that you planned, just a heads up. But don't worry, I'm going to be there every step of the way. So keep checking back in with me, and I'll keep providing you with the best hints, tips and tricks I can possibly find. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.